Okay, everybody, how's it going? Good morning, evening, afternoon. I don't know. I don't know where we're at. But how is it going, everybody? Happy what is it? Is it Tuesday? Hey, yeah. It's reset day. Yeah, happy reset day, everybody. For FF14. We still got a couple days here in Elite before all of this stuff comes online. But yeah, you know, I've been doing nothing but hauling, and I figured, you know what, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do today. I've got a couple of systems that I'm working on right now. Trying to complete the primary port in another one, and then this one I'm trying to figure out what to do with, because there's a lot of really cool stuff in it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I've been pulling those real VTuber hours, so yeah. But I hope everyone's having a good start to your week. It's been chill here. But yeah, it's a very, I got a couple really cool systems out here that I'm very excited to see what I can do with. So yeah, it's just got to figure out which one I want to do for which. That's the tricky part. That's what's kind of tripping me up. They're both very, very good systems. You'll see the other one in a little bit, but man, I gotta do some planning. I gotta figure some stuff out with what I'm gonna do with it. I think this one, the system that I'm in now, is going to be like maybe the actual sales hub. Actually get a lot of actual stuff built in it, but man, I don't know what. I don't know what. That is what's tripping me up a little bit. Hey, I can actually get a couple things here. But yeah, let's take a look here. This station isn't online. It's not going to be up until Thursday. But yeah, as you can see, this system's got some NSPs in it. It's a very, very big system. Not like hundreds of planets, but plenty of options. Plenty of options when it comes to actually getting some things built and having some fun with it. So yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna put where. It's there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things I can be doing. It's just a matter of what is going to go where, right? But this system, it's officially claimed. I finally finished that war that I was talking about on the last one, so I've got we got our conversion point, and the froggy frogs are here. We are out in completely uncharted territory. We're away from our traditional bubble, but yeah, it's gonna be tricky to kind of figure out what to do, because this one, it's got a lot of geologicals, it's got a couple organics, it's got the NSPs, it's got the water world, so there's no lack of things that I can be doing on here. It's just, man, it's a lot of planning. And then I've got the other system that I'm working on right now, the one I'm actually building a Coriolis in. Once that primary port is finished, man, that's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. I think I'm gonna hold off on claiming anything else for a little bit. I mean, it's not like it's hard to go through and just like hammer out a bunch of outposts, but there's a fair amount of things that I want to get done here to make sure that the future of our space out here actually has some places we can buy some things at. So yeah, it's, you know, I don't mind chaining systems. I know there's a lot of people complaining about empty chains and stuff, but you know, as someone that lives on one of those, someone that lives along a big interstate highway and lives in a town that's basically one of those dead colonies, like I'm kind of used to it when traveling about. Just a lot of empty space in small towns interspersed by a few big cities, right? So yeah, but you know, when you've got these kind of special systems, like I don't want them to go to waste. So yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. But it's a nice little region, so we'll just have to see how things go in the future. But you know, it's all moot until I actually get our Coriolis built. But yeah, I entered in here. I mostly check Inara to see what bodies are in the next system that I'm chaining to, just to kind of get an idea, especially if I'm aiming for something in particular. But yeah, I hopped in here. I didn't really know that there were NSPs until I got in. So yeah, it's a very cool system. It's just it's very unique with all of the organics and geologicals on these planets. So you know, it's gonna be interesting trying to build. You know, if you didn't know, when a planet has, you know, geologicals and organics and that kind of stuff, it actually does affect like the default, like the baseline boost that it gets to certain types of economies. Like I think organics and geologicals, if I put high tech there, it gets a big boost on those. Yeah, so it's kind of tricky. So, you know, this planet I'm going to right now, I specifically wanted one that doesn't have either of those, because it can just be just a regular extraction planet, right? Because I gotta get some of this extraction stuff up and running. Yeah, outside of that, you know, I initially thought maybe try building a pure tourist economy. I mean, as much as you can, right? But there's just, you know, the other system, the one that I'm working on to get this primary port done, I think that's going to be my tourist spot. because I really want to see what I can do to get population maxed as much as I can. And the other system that's next door to this one is the big one. That's you'll see why when we get in, but that one's going to be really interesting when it comes time to play around with what I can build for population stuff. So I think this system, even though it's got the cool NSPs, even though it's got like all the organics and all that, I think I'm still going to try making this one like an actual sales hub instead of doing a bunch of wacky things that probably aren't going to get me anything, right? Where are you? There we go. Let's get down here. Let's go ahead and place probably an extraction settlement. Whichever one it is that gets me the 2 tier 3 points for one tier 1, right? I can't remember. Is it convert 1 to 2? I think that's settlements. I'll have to take a look. There's a big Google Doc somewhere. I've got it saved at some point. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, it's just it's been a lot of fun. You know, I was originally going to go out and maybe do another big expedition, just another big exploration trip. I'm getting really close to getting 10,000 first discoveries. I think I'm at like 9750 or something like that. But then, you know, they started doing all of this stuff in the bubble. We got the big mystery going up with that permit lock system. And, you know, I managed to get this conversion point down for our faction. And now I can start building some new space out here. So yeah, the timing wasn't great. I couldn't really figure out a time that I was going to be able to go out. By the time I get out there, then I'll have to turn right back around to try and finish whatever special event this thing is that's going on right now. So, you know, it's fine. I am excited about it. I'm curious if this means they're going to be unlocking some permit systems finally after all of these years, even if it's, you know, slowly at first. It'll just be nice to know that they're starting to do that, right? But we'll just have to wait and see. You know, it's probably not going to happen until October. That's kind of the clue that they gave us at the end of the last one, but we'll just wait and see. But that's all right. I've got plenty of things to keep me busy and have some fun while I'm here. Let's see. So I want extraction, because the other one's probably going to be refinery once it's up and running. Okay, so tourism is actually default. See, this is one of the problems that I have with a lot of those Google Docs. You know, I appreciate the people that are making those, but none of them have put on what the requirements are to build certain facilities. Because some of them you need like a satellite, some of them you need a research comm station, you know, all of these little things. And it's like, it's one of those basic things that for whatever reason, it's not listed in these ultimate colonization guides that are going around Reddit and stuff. So, you know, if you're making one of those, please put on what the requirements are to build certain facilities, because I could use it. But yeah, I think this one's just going to be pure extraction. It's easy enough. Let's do a mantis. Okay, so this one rewards a tier 2. This one converts 1 to tier 3, and it doesn't really take all that many more. I don't know why this is so easy. I don't know why it works like this. Why would you build a tier 1 when a tier 2 is almost the same amount of materials and it gets you the 2 construction points? I don't understand. I understand. And it only costs 1. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, for this system though, like the extraction settlements and that kind of thing, I'm not too worried about. But when it comes time to build like some planetary ports and some of these bigger facilities, I do want to try and actually get some nice vistas and some cool stuff going on. Like, let's take a look. I got a nice gas giant up there, but not really any rings or anything. It's fine. We just kind of lay it wherever for this one then. I'm not super worried about it. All right. Cool. Easy enough. Whee. All right, but now I got to start making my way over to... I got to start making my way over to the my fleet carrier. We're gonna be hauling a bit. We're gonna be hauling a bit. I mean, the Coriolis It's still a fair amount. The Panther does make it easier, but it's still a fair amount. Yeah, we're way out past Coalsack. And the thing is, like, this isn't anything compared to some of the other people. There's like a whole, I don't know if it's Ashley's Angels or who, that's got a whole thing going up here. You know, the Mercs and Macoun, they've got their big thing. They'll probably reach it. I don't know if they'll reach it this weekend, but they're getting pretty close to the Lagoon Nebula. I think once they get it done and get like the first big project done, who knows what they'll do after they're done with Lagoon. I imagine they'll start making their way up and moving towards the Azura initiative. I think that'd be kind of cool, make their way to the Great Annihilator. But once they hit the Lagoon Nebula and start getting that colonized, I think I'm going to take a trip up their highway and just kind of go and see the sites, see what all they've done. I think it's really cool. I mean, that, you know, again, I know some people have complaints about the daisy chain systems and stuff, but I mean, as someone that likes getting out and, you know, deep into the black, I think the highway stuff is cool, man. I really do. I did that trip where I did every stop along the Colonia Highway. That was a lot of fun. Takes a while, you know. If you're just trying to get to Colonia, it's much faster to just gun it. But I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what they built. You know, I think these big community initiatives, you know, that's really one of the big reasons to kind of play the game, in my opinion. I think, you know, with all the complaints that we have about FDEF sometimes, I think the community does fill the gaps pretty well, all right? And yeah, like the Macoun Highway up to Lagoon is really, really cool. Yeah, I want to go out and take a look and see some of these player-made chains that they've got, and it gives me a nice, you know, a nice start. Because yeah, if I can set a launch point from the Lagoon Nebula, I mean, that's halfway up through this region, through this galactic region, right? So if I can go up there and use that as a launch pad for my big expeditions and stuff that I do, I mean, that changes things a lot. It changes things a lot. That's you know, that's several FC jumps just knocked out. It'll make a nice little base of operations up there for people that are wanting to launch themselves a little bit further out. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited for them to get it done. I think they can do it by this weekend. If they really want to push, I think they can do it. But next weekend at the latest. I mean, they're almost there. That whole Lagoon Bridge that they built it's just absolutely wild. And I think that's also part of why I've slowed down a little bit. Because, you know, I'm looking at some of these other chains. And like, obviously I'm a fan of my squadron. We've got a lot of history in the game. We've got a reputation to maintain, but we're not competing with those big chains. There's no way. You know, originally starting colonization, my goal was to, you know, get out as far as I could and get to some of the other cool systems that I found on my own discoveries out there. And yeah, just looking at some of the stuff that these other guys have done, there's no way. There's no way we're going to compete. So I'd rather, you know, build some nice little hubs and expand our bubble. Get a lot of systems within our space, not necessarily the most distance, right? So yeah, we'll just slow it down a bit. I think I'm fine slowing it down a bit. It doesn't help that last system that I built, the one we were working on the last time that I streamed this, you know, I finally got all the wars and stuff done. I finally got the conversion point, got our squadron as the primary one. I was looking at the Inara and I didn't realize that I had built 21 facilities over the course of, what, 2 weeks in that system? And I think that was a bit of a wake-up call to kind of, you know, I think I'm cool slowing down a bit. We'll be doing it again with these two systems that I'm working on, but like, I don't necessarily feel the need to rush it now that our squadron is the faction leader. right? Now that we actually have control of these systems out there, it's a lot of pressure off, so I can take my time building some of this stuff. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a lot of work. But see, I've mostly built all of the systems that I've done. I try building them up a little bit. I don't leave too many chain, just single outpost systems around. But when it comes to actually building, man, like I haven't really taken the time to really learn how to engineer the economies, right? Like, I think I've got a decent enough handle on it that for the most part, I've been able to get most of the materials that I've needed. Like, it's not really hard to figure out how to get steel at a station and that kind of thing. But I think these next two, I'm really going to kind of play around with them and have some fun. Maybe doing a little bit of experimentation and really kind of engineering them in a way that I think will be fun and hopefully helpful to other people that are, you know, hopping out to this area of space. Because yeah, we're out there, man. I didn't realize until looking at the big gal map that yeah, you know, we're out past the coal sack at this point. And it's kind of fun. I mean, you know, again, it's not the longest chain in the world, but as someone that's done a lot of exploration, like, just the FC jumps to get out past this far. You know, that takes up a little bit of time. It's nice to feel like we're kind of getting out to some of these cool regions that seem so far away when we originally started, right? But yeah, if you're over more on the western side of the bubble, though, I'm heading to our squadron's main area of space over here. We have what's called a pristine system. You can buy all of the materials you need for colonization in this one system. Everything except the emergency power cells, which are still locked to that one area of the bubble or the trailblazers. But literally everything else you could possibly need, you can get in this one system. We spent a lot of time building it up. I shouldn't say we. I helped build the tier 3 port that's kind of like the big one here. But for the most part, this has been an initiative for everyone else in my faction, while I've kind of been, you know, exploring new frontiers and building us up over on the other side of the bubble. But they did a really, really good job with it. It was a lot of work. Our architect for this system really did their homework, spent a lot of time learning how to engineer everything. So yeah, if you're over on the western side, this is I mean, you can see the name of this system. We just call it Barter Town. And yeah, Barter Town is like the main Coriolis spaceport here. It has the grand majority of everything you would need. But then we've also got the lily pad, which is our surface platform, so we can get our CMMs and all of that. And actually, the lily pad is what I am actually going to be going to for the most part. I'm not going to have a whole lot of fun doing it. I hate landing at surface pads trying to get CMMs and stuff, but unfortunately, my usual trailblazer spot is taken up right now. Origin is pretty busy, which is kind of surprising. It's a Tuesday night. It's usually not that hard to get a parking spot in there on a Tuesday, but you know, it just kind of comes and goes with the territory, being Ashling space and all. So I'll go over here instead. It's kind of nice. Since I don't need emergency power cells, I don't necessarily have to go to a trailblazer. I'll just come to our friendly little system here, get everything else that I need. I mean, it's a little bit more work. You kind of have to jump from station to station depending on which material you're after. But a Coriolis is so much stuff anyways that I don't mind just kind of moving around, getting the little odds and ends, and then just park it at Barter Town when it comes time to actually get my metals and steel and all of that, right? Where's Barter Town? Yeah, there you go. Right next to the third planet. Yeah, that's where you want to go for all your metals. If you got a lot to stock up on. I got my spreadsheet up, my Elite Dangerous Colony Builder. It's just a website. It's one of the earlier websites that they made when colonization first came out. And yeah, it's been really helpful. Yeah, I need something like 20,000 steel, another 11,000 or something. I don't know. It's a lot. It's just a lot. You know, a Coriolis, it's at least, on my fleet carrier, it's at least 5 or 6 jumps. So, you know, it's a fair amount. I'll get it done this week. I mean, it's not that much work. It's just kind of boring. Watching a lot of Bewitched and Seinfeld. That's really that all that I've been doing is kind of take care of the boredom of hauling, right? That being said, you know, I did go see the Demon Slayer movie this weekend. I really, when I saw the numbers come out and it pulled 70 million this weekend. I mean, it's the highest rated anime of all time. The sixth highest September movie of all time, of any movie, not just anime, just in general. I mean, that is absolutely nuts. As someone that's, I mean, you guys know me and how much I like movies and talking about my time out in the industry and all that. I cannot stress enough, like, holy shit. That is absolutely wild. For an anime import, with 55% of the people going to see the subs, by the way, just from the trackers that were able to track it. I mean, that is absolutely wild. So big ups to Demon Slayer. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the movie a lot. You know, I think a lot of people have kind of complained about the pacing. And I kind of agree with that. I mean, you know, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you've watched Demon Slayer, you kind of know that they always do the backstory of the demons. And they spent a little bit too much time on it, I think, this time. But I think more important is just the placement of it. Like, I think it's a big difference between Western and Japanese media, because I've noticed this quite a bit in a lot of the classic Japanese films and stuff that I've watched too. In Western media, we usually use flashbacks as a way to kind of build emphasis, or like build empathy, or even build hype towards certain characters, right? Like, we always do things before the action. And that kind of sets up the emotional response that we get during the action and once the action's done. So we do it all beforehand. Japan, and a lot of classic Japanese movies, they have the action first, and then the characters reflect on that. They have very long tail ends after the climax of a movie. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, you know, having all of your cool fights and stuff, and then like the entire backstory of one of the demons kind of at the end, yeah, it's a little bit of whiplash. So yeah, I think they could have done a little bit of cutting. I didn't realize going into it, it's 2.5 hours long. But when the movie is on, it is on. I mean, it is an absolutely gorgeous movie. And you know, I've seen a lot of people kind of wondering what this means for the industry and hoping that it doesn't become a standard thing. You know, it's one of those things that's very, I don't know, it's kind of tricky. One, you know, Sony owns Crunchyroll now, so I think that's going to be a big part of it. But, you know, this whole idea of doing arcs as movies and kind of forcing people to buy tickets and stuff, like, I kind of agree that, like, it works for Demon Slayer, but I don't think it's going to work for every series, right? You know, there's a lot of anime movies that I watch, and they're just kind of like, they have slightly better lighting, and that's really about it. Aside from that, they're just kind of like really long episodes, right? But they don't really utilize the movie format all that much. There's only a couple of studios, I think, that could really pull it off. And Demon Slayer definitely did. They definitely understood. Like, they didn't just say, hey, we have a bigger budget and we're doing a movie, what can we do with this? They understood, like, hey, we have a 60-foot screen we can play with. So what are we going to do that and actually make it look like a movie? And there's a lot of people that don't take that extra step and really consider the size of the screen that it's on. But Demon Slayer absolutely did. I mean, some of the movement of the castle itself actually gave me whiplash. Like, it gave me vertigo, like, watching it on the big screen. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But it's one of those things that's going to be lost. I mean, it's still going to look really good when they, you know, bring it to Crunchyroll in a few months. But it's a completely different experience watching it on a big screen. And some of the fights, you know, just absolutely incredible. And again, they're still going to look good. It's still going to look like your fun Demon Slayer experience on Crunchyroll. But you're going to lose a little bit of what it looked like on a big screen. And yeah, there's not a whole lot of studios I think that can do it. UFO Table's really top of the game. Qyuuzy, I think, is another one that could do it. Yeah, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. I think we are going to see a lot of movies, but I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of them breaking records like Demon Slayer did. Because, I mean, it's just from the very first shot of the first episode, they understood, you know, the cinematic quality they were going for. And yeah, but yeah, I do recommend it. If you do get a chance and you like the show, you know what's going on, you're caught up, go see it in a theater if you get the chance. It really is a completely different experience than what you're going to get watching it at home. So yeah, highly recommend it. I did really enjoy it. Again, you know, the second half really slows it down. There's some pacing trouble, but I think overall you're going to have a good time. I think the only complaints that I heard going out is that a lot of people didn't know that they're doing 3 movies for the final arc. They thought this was it. And they get to the end of the movie and I hear other people in the theater literally kind of like sighing in frustration that there was going to be another one after it. But yeah, the Demon Slayer, the final arc's 3 movies. This isn't just the one. You still got a little bit to go. But if you know that going in, yeah, it's fantastic. Let's see here. Let me bring up my old sheet. Let me bring up the sheet. All right. So I need 2166 of this. Oh, water. It's always water. I got, man, doing this stuff. I've got my calculator up. I got a lot of stuff going on the screen when it comes time to calculating all of this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is the lily pad. This is the second of the big bases that we've got here in this system. Yeah, this is the one if you want your CMMs and all that. Yeah, like I said, we're over here on the western side of the bubble. I'll bring it up again here in a second and kind of see the area that we're in. Yeah, like I said, you can get literally everything you need for construction here. Not just for Coriolis, but like all the small little settlements and all of that too. It's only the emergency power cells that you cannot get here. And I am curious if they're going to change that. Like, as we start getting further and further out, and if they do take away the Trailblazer ships, yeah, the emergency power cells, it really does feel like they were just going over a list of their commodities and were like, hey, emergency power cells sounds like something that would be, you know, needed for construction. Let's throw that on the list, right? And yeah, they need to find a way to expand that. But, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. For right now, what our squadron's been doing is we've got a ton of them that have been loaded onto our squadron carrier. And yeah, you know, that'll be kind of our mini facility that we need to buy them from if we can. But obviously not everyone has a squadron carrier. If you're using a fleet carrier to like store some, I mean, that takes up a lot of space. So you got less space for the other things you need for building. The good thing is with emergency power cells, you don't need a ton. Like, some of the really big stuff might need a couple hundred. But for the most part, almost every facility that I've ever built needed 150 or less. So like a full Panther of emergency power cells, I mean, that's going to go a long way if you just kind of step that back off to the side, right? Put that in your squad carrier or bank or whatever you want to use. So that'll last you, you know, quite a few builds. But yeah, I do hope that they expand where you can actually buy it from. It's just really annoying. It's really annoying. But, you know, at this point, I'm having trouble even getting parking spots near any of the Trailblazers, so, you know, it is what it is. I'm just glad that none of the primary ports actually need it. But yeah, let me show you. So yeah, this is for you guys that are over on the western side of the bubble. Yeah, this is it. UCF B26-7 in Cold 285. This is all our space. Pretty much everything you see around here is Froggy Town. Welcome. We're doing pretty good. But yeah, this is kind of where we're at. And yeah, you got Soul over there. We're a little ways out, but it's not too bad. And then over here, this is where we're working on right now. Well, what I'm working on right now. Maybe some of my fellow frogs will move over, but so far they're mostly staying over there. But you know, it's nice to have a little hub if they decide to kind of break out of our traditional grounds. But yeah, it's kind of cool being this far out. I mean, you can kind of see where I initially built out here, and then I saw some people had a chain that was already kind of making their way out, so I just moved up a little bit. These, unfortunately, I never moved over to Frog Space, but I think it's LHH B23. If you're out this way, there's a couple good things you can buy there. I think Ham Landing that I built in that area has a pretty decent market. You're not going to be able to buy everything you need, but you should be able to get your steel and some other assorted knickknacks over there. But yeah, let's take a look. I am curious. Here, we'll do that next time I'm auto landing, since that takes forever. But I want to take a look and see where the mercs are at. I want to see if they're there yet. I really do want to go once they're done and take a little road trip up their whole chain and see what all they've done with it. I know a lot of it's going to just be like single systems, like single outpost systems, but I can't imagine that they've gotten that far out without kind of backfilling and building up some of the ones lower on the chain. So I think it'll be a nice little adventure. And obviously they put a lot of work into it. It's a pretty big community effort. So, you know, it'd be nice to kind of go out and appreciate the work that they've done. Because it's no fun doing all of this stuff if no one's out there to appreciate it, right? You know, why build up a system if no one's gonna use it? But yeah, that's why we got to do our part as wayfarers, as crazy explorers with space madness, getting tens of thousands of first discoveries, to go out and kind of enjoy the community efforts, right? I mean, I'm building up my systems in the hopes that people use them. You know, I hope even if they don't really pay attention to the name of the architect or anything, I hope that, you know, they go, oh, hey, that station is really good. I can use that station, right? So yeah, you know, the effort will hopefully pay off in the end. We'll just wait and see. After this trip, I might actually move over to Bartertown. I might move the FC over there. Just make it a little bit easier on me for the metals. I think there are a couple of other things that I can get here. I don't know about the computer components and all that. We'll see. I think I gotta go to South Reach. South Reach is another one. It's another surface landing. I don't like going to it, but I think it's the one that's got my computer components and stuff. If I need, if I'm desperate. All right, we'll take a look. Before I start loading up on the metals, let's clear out all the little odds and ends. That's usually how I do it. Metals I know is going to take a while, so yeah, do all your little bits first, and then if you have any space in your hold left over, then you can go ahead and kind of start filling up on the aluminum and steel and all that. But the little odds and ends, you might have to travel between several different stations. So it's so much easier just to get that out of the way first. That way, when it is time for the medals, you can just park yourself at one station and just not move. Not move until the hold is filled, right? I mean, the space on this one, I might not have enough space for a whole lot of extra stuff. We'll see. But they did a good job with this. I mean, this is a lot. I mean, this is, what, 300,000 to build one of these? They put the work in, and it's definitely paid off. And just some of the discussions we were having about how to engineer this system in our Discord was pretty wild. Man, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what is happening. What is happening with my poor frames? My poor frames. There we go. All right, let's give me a moment. Give me a moment here. Come on. Ow. Ow, I haven't had this happen in a while. In a very long while. There we go. I can't remember if I'm gonna have to... Bloom's okay, I don't need all that. Balanced. Remember if I have to reset. Yeah. See if that helped out a little bit. Probably not too much. My luck. It's a little better. We'll just put it on high. There we go. I'll switch it back later. Once OBS isn't chugging along. Actually, let me see if my Xbox thing's open. This stupid Xbox app. I hate this thing so much. It tried to force me into another Windows update the other night. I was like, no. Away with ye. All right, there we go. Hopefully it'll help it out a little bit. Okay, let's get in here. Let's buy our stuff. All right, 932 water. Okay, X that out. CMMs 186. Ooh, man, I'm not gonna have a whole lot of space for the little stuff. All right, can I at least get power generators here? Aluminum, steel. I gotta go to South Reach. I really don't want to go to South Reach. Oh, okay. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't want to go without a full hold. So, well, fit in whatever little bit I can. Okay. Math 8867. There we go. Before we launch, let's start moving this thing over towards Bartertown. It's really only when I'm on the land. It's really I don't know what it is. Like it does run a lot better than it used to. But it's still not great. It's still not wonderful coming down to some of these stations. Come on. Come on. You got this, buddy. I think it's time to upgrade the PC is what I'm thinking. I think that's the main problem. Unfortunately, we did the work stream last time, fixing up a few things. And I still haven't heard back anything. I mean, I'm getting some more hours at the end of the month, but it's still not anywhere near enough. Not enough for the bills. So, yeah, we'll just keep doing our thing, I guess. Keep hoping. All right. Let's get out of my way. What are you doing? What are you doing here? There we go. Stupid beluga. Wee. Actually, I might be able to get some of them at Skortskov. Take a look. Did it work? Okay, there we go. Line it up a bit and then we let's get out of the drop zone. But yeah, let's take a look. I want to see how close they're getting. They were almost there. I don't know if they're there yet. Okay. I can't remember how far up and down I need to go here. I guess I can always do it by claim systems. Let's see. I know they were around here somewhere. Just find the chain. Let's take a look here. Inhabited only. There we go. Problem is I don't know if they've actually inhabited a lot of it yet. I don't know how much of their stuff is online. They build them so fast. Ah, there we go. There we go. Ah, just as I found it, of course. Of course. All right, let's try this again. Let's try this again. There we go. Yeah, how far out are they? We just had it. We just had it. Really? Really? Gonna do this to me again. Come on, I know you're around here somewhere. All right, we'll just do this the old-fashioned way. There we go. There we go. Okay. Is that not it? I think they started kind of on the western side. Yeah. Here we go. Nice. Up. It's so much stuff. Okay. That must be a branch off. Yeah, that's got to be a branch off of their main branch. There we go. There we go. All right, see, they're starting to build like these that are like kind of glowing. They're the really big ones. They have like the high pop, good facilities, that kind of thing. So yeah, they're definitely doing a good job of building up some of this stuff back behind the trail. I'm really kind of impressed at how well they've managed to navigate the navigate the arms. Hey, welcome. Yeah, we do this every now and then. You know, I'm mostly a variety streamer, but Elite is kind of like, it's an old reliable. Like hopping in here and just kind of chilling out in space. Yeah, welcome. Glad you're having a good time. Yeah, this is if you missed it earlier, this is the Mercs of Macoon highway towards the Lagoon Nebula. It's so far the longest highway that the players have built so far. It's impressive. I mean, it just keeps going. And yeah, like I was saying, like once they get this done and once they reach the Lagoon Nebula, I think I'm gonna travel along this highway a little bit, do a little bit of exploring. It's also a really good one if you want to do some of your own like really far out there colonization. Maybe make a couple of branches off their path, and kind of go from there. But yeah, it is very, very impressive. But yeah, they're almost there. I think they can get it done. I don't know, they're a little further out than I thought, but I don't know if not this weekend, maybe next weekend. They just really hammer these things out. I think the big thing slowing them down here is you can kind of see they don't have as many systems as far out that have been built up. Yeah, I mean, it is really cool. I mean, a lot of what I do, if you check out some of the other streams or some of the other VODs, is I'm mostly an explorer. I'm hanging out in the bubble right now because of the colonization, and we've got some squadron stuff going on and the big mystery that's going on with the permit lock system. So I don't want to make another journey out only to have to turn around and come back, right? But most of what I do is exploration. So, you know, I'm at about 10,000 first discoveries. A lot of what we'll see is me hanging out, just out wherever I decide to point myself at. I usually don't go out with a plan other than try and discover something fun. But yeah, the scale is absolutely immense. And I mean, it's a good flight sim too. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. So yeah, I think the game deserves more love than it does. I mean, they do make some weird decisions with the development. FDev gonna FDev, but you know, it's nice to see them putting the work back into it, and some of the stuff they've added lately has been really cool. So it's yeah, I think it's nice that we're finally seeing it get some love again, right? I'm curious what they're gonna have for the winter. I'm curious what the final big feature, the new feature, is gonna be. You know, I think it's gonna tie into whatever this big exobiology thing they're hinting at is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'll be Rax. God, they'll put in Raxel like a month before they shut down the game, probably at this point, right? But, you know, they've got this big mystery going on with this permit lock system and some exobiology storyline stuff going on that's going to continue in October. But, you know, they're not doing Frontier Unlocked every month anymore. They decided they're no longer going to do it, which I think is sad. I like the Frontier Unlocked. It's sad that they ended it like right after the new girl took over, the new host. I thought she was doing a good job. But yeah, we're not getting Frontier Unlocked anymore. So, you know, I guess whatever this is leading to is probably involving the new feature. Because, yeah, they're supposed to have something for winter of 2025. And, you know, who knows what it could be. But I guess we'll find out. It could just be another one of those usual holiday events where we get a free, you know, paint skin or something. But I think it'll be something a little bit more than that. But I do like the idea that they might be unlocking some permit lock systems after all this time. So we'll just wait and see. But, you know, for right now I've got my hands full doing some of this other stuff. Just working on these colonies. Here we go. All right. But I am curious, you know, some of the other things, I'm not super sold on the Type 11. But, you know, it's okay if they have kind of an okay ship after having the Panther Clipper finally come out, because I think a lot of people are getting use out of this. So it's okay if they do kind of one little awkward ship. I think it'll be fun for those of you guys that like mining. I do a little bit of mining too. But now that, you know, now that I'm already maxed up on Ashling's rep and power play stuff, I don't really need to do it as much. But mining is a good way to do your power play stuff, so, you know, might not be a bad ship. I'll probably get one when it hits for credits. It's not pay money like the Panther Clipper was, but yeah, I'll get it for credits when it's out, I think. All right, here we go. South Reach, I hope you've got other things that I can use to get out of this gravity well. There we go. Yeah, I think before the end of the year though, I do want to make another trip out. I didn't really find anything on my last one. Last one, I don't remember entirely where, but I ended up somewhere around here, I think. Let me even see. I don't know. Will it show me user data? There we go. Visited. There we go. I don't know if it'll show me. Yeah. So I ended up somewhere out here. Pretty decent ways out. And I ended up at a decent time. It was an okay trip, but yeah, I didn't find anything like super exciting. I was hoping for a little bit more. But it's okay. It's a big galaxy. We'll have other things to do. I can't remember if I went north or south. Or above or below the plane. This last trip. Sometimes you find something, you know, sometimes you don't. The trip that I took out to Dryman's Point, that one was really cool because, like, Dryman's Point, I don't know if you've ever been out there. It just has so many NSPs. It was like every other system I was visiting was an NSP system. They got like a big chain just going right up the middle. How far are you from Orion Spur? I mean, right now, I'm working on colony stuff, so I'm pretty close to the bubble. What I was showing you earlier was the Mercs and McCoon system. Their chain. That's not me. No, I'm a Diamond Frog. Mercs and McCoon, they're some of our neighbors. They tend to be pretty chill. We haven't had too many issues with them, but right now they're all working on their other stuff. But no, I'm out. My colonies that I'm working on right now, we're just out past the Coalsack Nebula, or at least my colonies are. We'll be seeing it again here in a second. Show you guys the system that I'm working on. It's a fun one. It'll be interesting trying to engineer it the way that I want. See if I can actually get the economies that I'm trying to aim for with it. But yeah, when it comes to exploration though, I mean, I go out there. I still haven't been to Beagle Point, but yeah, I mean, I really just kind of wander as far out as I can. There we go. Cool. Yeah, just to kind of show you where our colonies are. This is our main space right here. And the colonies I'm working on are over here. So we're not too far. Yeah. Hyper test, yeah. Yeah, I don't really play in open all that much. I don't have time for that. I don't want to deal with all the PvP stuff going on. I got better things to do with my time than give them the time of day. But occasionally I'll hop in open for big events and stuff. I did a lot of open stuff when the Titans were going down. That was a lot of fun seeing other people trying to hit the vents and all of that. Hit the core. Sometimes we'll do open stuff for BGS things and that kind of thing. But aside from that, I mostly play in solo. It's just I'm doing too much work to deal with other players. All right, South Reach, what do you got for me? I can't remember what all you sell. I guess I'm gonna find out. There's my power generators. That's what I needed. There we go. 866 of those. Cross that off the list. What about computer components? You got computer... Oh, I love you. I love you, Southreach. Alright. And I think everything else I can get at Bartertown. I think. I can't remember if I can get my medical diagnostic equipment or not. Unlethal. I need 25 of those. I think I can. Guess we'll find out. If not, I'll be making another trip somewhere. I don't know where. Time to check old Lenara. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and check Lenara. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Why not? Data, commodities, medical diagnostic equipment. Which of these stations sell that? Ah, that is Skortsov. Okay. Okay, I knew it had to be one of them. Where are you, Skortsov? There we go. They kept that name because it was a, I don't know if you've ever heard of Skortsov radio, but it was a really cool kind of radio station that was Elite Dangerous themed, and it just, you know, played 24 hours. Back in the old internet radio days. And somehow, I don't know how, apparently this ended up being like a randomized name. It's kind of cool that they gave that little tribute as a possibility in the random name generator. All right, let's get up here. Whee! It's all good. I don't mind chatting. It's not like I got a whole lot else going on. It's just a lot of hauling. Anything I need things to chat about. Because you're gonna be looking at the auto landing screen a lot. You're gonna be looking at it a lot during this stream. Heard of it. I think it might still be around. I haven't listened to it a whole lot. Like, some of it's kind of weird music, like weird drum and bass and like 80s blippy music from the original Elite and that kind of thing. I know it just had a lot of respect in passing along a lot of the old Elite Dangerous old heads. I haven't been playing that long. I've only been playing about 2 years. But the others in my squadron, they've been around a long time. They've been around since the beginning. I think we even have a couple Cobra Mark IVs in our squadron carrier that no one can take out. And yeah, it was really popular among a lot of the old space heads, the graybeards. All right. Now the other question is, can I buy anything else here? Do we have a lot of do we have any aluminum or steel here? I can't remember. I can't remember what all the different stations have. It's kind of a wacky system. Come to think of it, I think this was the tier 3 that we all built together. I think it might have been. It's kind of nuts. Like, the thing is, we're the biggest Anarchy squadron and faction in the game. Well, I don't know about squadron, but we're the biggest Anarchy faction in the game. Because we're Anarchy, like, we don't really enforce any rules among our members or anything. Everyone's kind of allowed to do whatever they want. But when we come together and actually put together a project, it's kind of scary how fast we get some of this stuff done. We don't do it all that often. But yeah, it was kind of fun hopping in and seeing like 20 frogs running around building this thing. And you know, when you consider the Mercs and McCoon are like, I think they got 115 members, but they're all pretty active, right? It's kind of impressive how fast communities can get some of this stuff done when they're really working on it. Now, to be fair, unloading your fleet carrier is a lot easier than loading it. I'd like to see us put our squadron carrier to use, building like another really big project. We haven't really put it to the test. It's just been kind of a nice shopping ground for like various odds and ends. You know, I put in a couple loads of emergency power cells and that kind of stuff on it. But we haven't really had a chance to really put it through its paces. You know, put it next to a Trailblazer, load it up, and see if we can get a nice Tier 3 build. But I mean, we've already got so much space that I don't think we've really got, colony-wise, like any other big projects that we're really working on. Now that we've got this hub built, like this was the big project, this system. We wanted a system where you can buy everything you need, and now we've got it done, and now I don't know what we're gonna do with it. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's kind of what Canon Research does. I mean, they do more of the science of space stuff. Yeah, Canon does some pretty cool things out there, you know? Here we go. But I mean, there have been actual studies about, like, you know, World of Warcraft and how that's affected society and stuff. Enough. You get a lot of stuff to talk about when you're talking about how World of Warcraft has affected culture. Times not in the best of ways. But yeah, there's been studies on MMOs. It's kind of an interesting look. But yeah, this one's unique though because it is space. You know, it's kind of interesting to see some of the ways that that this has affected our understanding of space, and like how like video game players look at like real stars now and that kind of thing. I think that's really interesting. There used to be, I don't know if he still streams. I don't think he does anymore, just because it was a lot of work and he has an actual job. But there was a streamer who was an actual astrophysicist, and he just kind of streamed on the weekends when, you know, when he had time between the real job. But his streams were kind of interesting because he would actually talk about the actual science behind a lot of it. And he really liked Elite because, you know, they did a pretty decent job with the Stellar Forge on trying to recreate actual galactic conditions, you know. He's probably still got some VODs and stuff up. You can probably find them. But, yeah, his stuff was really cool. I mean, you know, it's not a complete one-to-one scientific recreation. There's a few things with the Proc Gen that, you know, as an explorer, I can kind of tell, right? Like, I always wanted to find a ringed pulsar, right? I wanted a ringed neutron star, ringed white dwarf. But at this point, I think they've all been found because they only spawn in certain systems. And most of those systems, I think, have been found at this point. There's only a few thousand across the galaxy. And then once you know the naming scheme of how it all works, you can kind of you can actually catalog a lot of it, right? Those AAA HMAS systems are the only place that ring pulsars can be found. And you know, I've had some people in my Discords and people that I've talked to that are like, how do you know? How do you know? Because it's all Proc Gen, right? It's all Proc Gen. So you don't know if they've all been found. But once you know how the Proc Gen works, you kind of do know, right? And a lot of it comes down to the AAA HMAS. Now, all the AAA HMAS systems have not been completely discovered. You can still go out and find a lot of like Wolf Rayets and stuff. But ringed pulsars can only be found in AAA HMAS systems with a black hole primary, right? In the way the Proc Gen and how the galaxy is generated, like it kind of starts to show its seams, and that's one of the ways. And a lot of it comes down to the way the primary stars work, right? So the way systems are generated and the way it generates bodies within those systems is there are always a couple of rules. And the primary star tends to be the big rule that kind of limits where you can find certain things. So the primary body in a system, the primary star, is always the largest mass in that system. And the other big rule is that the primary star cannot be ringed. And that's a video game thing, because I don't want you loading into a solar system and immediately slamming into an asteroid belt, right? So because of that, you can kind of narrow things down on where things are going to be. So, you know, if I was looking for a ringed neutron star, right? In general, a ringed body is always going to have more mass than a non-ringed body, right? So if I was looking at, you know, all of these systems, then if I just went to a system that has a neutron star primary, right? I can already tell you it's not going to have a ring neutron in there, because a ring neutron star would have more mass than a non-ring neutron star. But because a primary star cannot be ringed, then that means none of the other stars in that system will probably be ringed, because that would give them more mass than the primary star, and it would conflict with the rules of how it generates your primary body, right? So with the black hole systems, those were always really popular spots for, you know, really rare find explorers, right? Because essentially AAA H-mass black hole systems have no upper limit on what can be generated. Because a black hole is basically always going to be your highest mass in the game, right? And the way that it works with H-mass systems, it has to have a certain mass, like total system mass minimum, right? So to meet whatever minimum it has to consider it an H-mass system, one of the easiest ways to do it is just add rings to things, right? So as long as it's a black hole primary, like, you can kind of do whatever you want in those systems. It can kind of generate anything it wants with no upper limit. As long as nothing in that system is more massive than the black hole primary, then you can kind of do whatever. Now, there are no ringed black holes because of the aforementioned, because of that rule set. A ringed black hole would probably have more mass than a non-ringed black hole, so it just wouldn't be able to generate it. But yeah, those black hole primaries, though, I mean, the stellar forge is able to do whatever it wants. Like, technically, ringed neutron stars and ringed white dwarfs shouldn't exist either in real life. They're too violent. They would rip up anything around them, right? But because of the way the stellar forge works, like those black hole H-mass systems, it's just like, all right, let's start adding rings to things, right? That adds mass to the system. It just didn't calculate that it shouldn't exist in real life. They're just like, okay, well, this system needs more mass. It's got a black hole primary, so let's just start adding rings to things, right? But because of that, like, there's a very limited amount of AAA H-mass black hole systems. Like, there's a spreadsheet that actually lists them out, and it's only a couple of thousand. And yeah, I think most of those have probably been found. There might be one or two odd ducks out there somewhere, but I have not had any luck. I have not been able to find them. So, you know, I think my dreams of finding a ringed pulsar are kind of I don't think it would exist. I don't think there's any more to be found. But you know, I've been looking at some other things. You know, one of the rarest things in the game is a jolly green gas giant. So I've been taking my last couple of exploration trips trying to find a gas giant. They're bright neon green, and those are cool. There's only, I think they're up to 70 have been found. It's a result of a bug from when they initially had the lighting system made. And they never fixed it. It doesn't cause any issues, and they're really cool looking, so they just kept them in the game. But yeah, you can find jolly green gas giants, but yeah, they're very, very, very rare. But as I was saying, you know, if you're out exploring, you know, don't be afraid to DSS scan those gas giants you find. You don't necessarily need to like map them. But yeah, make sure and hit them up on the DSS so you can take a look and see if you got a green gas giant. They're really cool. Yeah. It would be a lot scarier if they had found a way to add the lensing around them. Unfortunately, there's no way to, like, I think they did try to make accretion discs in the game at some point, and they just couldn't get it figured out with how their graphical engine works in the game. It is something with the baseline. They just could not get accretion discs to work. But yeah, I would like to see some more physics with some of the stars and more interaction between them. I've said that a lot in my exploration streams. Things that are like... things that affect the graphics and how things interact, but don't necessarily affect the gameplay, so they might be a little bit easier to implement. Because yeah, it is kind of lame going to like a binary system where there's like a neutron star right next to a black hole, and there's just no interaction between them, right? It'd be cool if like the tails of the tails and the light of the neutron star was like pulled into the hole. I think that'd be really cool. It wouldn't necessarily affect the gameplay or like trying to charge up, you know, supercharge your FSD or anything like that. But it would look really cool. And since it's a graphical change, it might be a little bit easier to do than any actual like physics changes to the game. Yeah. But you know, that's just kind of wish list stuff. Nowadays, I mean, most of what I explore are things like black holes and like these really kind of scary stars. They're not too bad these days. I used to get really scared going into them the first time, you know, first couple of times that I did it. But nowadays they're not too bad. And I think it's because I learned. One, going to Sagittarius A, I tried to kill myself in Sagittarius A. I tried to do it for the content. I've got the clip up on the channel. And Sag A couldn't kill my anaconda. So that lessened a little bit of the scariness of it. Like, if Sag A can't do it, I'm really not expecting, like, just a normal black hole to do it, right? But the other one thing is, like, in real life and in the game, black holes are only a few kilometers wide. Like, I didn't realize that until I started playing this game. Like, most black holes are only, like, 30 kilometers wide. It's just, they're so dense and they're so powerful, right? That they're kind of scary, but they're really not very big. So in the game, to actually get killed by a black hole, you've got to basically be pinpointed right at the center of it. Otherwise, you just kind of move around it. You get the lensing, and it's really scary, and that kind of stuff. But there's almost nothing about a black hole in the game that'll actually kill you unless you're purposely trying to aim for it. Yeah. Yeah, and it's because they tend to have the cooler systems. Because again, they really don't have an upper limit to what they can do on them. So they get a lot of really cool things going on with some of their stuff. The black hole systems, like, there's plenty of black holes out there. You can find plenty of undiscovered ones. You just have to go closer to the center of the galaxy, which is where most of them are. But once you get up there, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to find that's completely undiscovered. The stuff that worries me more are the white dwarves. White dwarves will destroy your ship. They're terrifying. Huge exclusion zone, huge heat. They look almost exactly like a neutron star, but they have a much bigger exclusion zone. So if you're not careful, you're gonna get in there, try scooping, and then you realize the hard way that it's not a neutron star you're looking at. Once you've done enough exploration, you can kind of tell the difference between them. Neutron stars, nice, friendly, lazy rivers to charge your boost on. White dwarves, angry, violent stars. There we go. Let's do this. Let's do it. We're getting there. Phoenix A. Oh, is that another galactic? Is that a different galaxy? No, Sag A is huge. Sag A is pretty big. I don't know where Phoenix A is. Okay. I was like, if that was one in the game, like the only other big one in the game is the Great Annihilator. That one's kind of scary to jump into. Great Annihilator, that's the only other one where I'm kind of clenching my cheeks a little bit. Because it puts you like so close to it. And it's so big. But like Sag A, you get there and you're kind of expecting to see it because it's like the big, you know, it's the big landmark and you kind of know it, but it's so brown. You're just like looking at a big butthole. Great Annihilator looks like the other black holes in the game, so it's kind of scary jumping into that one. But it is really cool. I recommend going there if you get a chance. And they've got, that's where the Azura initiative is. So they've got like a whole chain of fleet carriers sitting in different systems around the Great Annihilator. They've done a good job building it up. It's pretty cool. But yeah, my quests have just been cool, unique things and green gas giants. That's my bucket list item. I mean, I can play this game until the server shut down and I might never find one, but I think it would be pretty neat to put my name on one. But aside from that, like I said, yeah, I like finding just cool, interesting things and black hole systems, white dwarf systems, sometimes neutron star systems. Neutron stars, I haven't found as much cool stuff. But white dwarfs and black holes you can find some interesting stuff because, again, the Stellar Forge just, it builds interesting things in those systems. There we go. And a lot of it's because, like I said, I think this game is really, it's really unique. It's really cool and it's really unique. And I think there's a lot of people that would enjoy playing it if they gave it a shot or even just knew about it. But I think that unless you're really big into space sims, a lot of people just don't know about the game. And I think it deserves a little bit more love. And to me, one of the best ways to do that and to kind of get people interested is screenshots. I think screenshots are like one of the greatest marketing tools a video game has. And especially in this game where you've got some really cool vistas, right? So yeah, I try going out and trying to find interesting things to look at and hopefully get some good screenshots of it to share it and get people to watch me for my other content to maybe be like, hey, this other thing he's playing is kind of cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, real life's a little bit different. Real life, I think I'm fine where I'm at in my little room here on Earth. But yeah, you know, at least in terms of the game, you know, it does show its seams as a video game a little bit here and there. But there's still a lot of fun stuff. I'd like to get up there to where I found some interesting things up near the center. Once colonization gets a little bit further out. I'd like to colonize Mustache and Bowtie. I've got the screenshots on my Inara page up there. Yeah, Mustache and Bowtie. It's the system with a white dwarf. It's a white dwarf. It might be two white dwarfs. It's a white dwarf, a neutron star, an M-class star, and another pulsar. It places you, when you jump in, it places you right between the pulsar that's the primary and the M star right behind you. So it's already kind of scary jumping into it because you're already getting like some heat damage just going in. And then you get around the M star, big red sun, and then there's a white dwarf like right next to it. So you're like, oh shit, right? Just trying to get to safety. But once you get away from those, it has a couple of ringed landables right nearby. And the ringed landables are already pretty close themselves, so you get good vistas of them, but then you also get really good viewing spots of the entry stars from the landing there. And it's a very, very cool. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let me see if I can bring up Mustache and Bowtie. It's probably, of all of the systems that I've discovered, it's my favorite. It's my favorite so far. We are a very, very long way from being able to colonize anything even remotely close to it. But I think if I ever make a forever home in this game, that's the one that I want to aim for. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. I think I've used it as a thumbnail a couple of times too, come to think of it. All right, let me see. What do we got in here? All right, let me go through my old Elite folder. See if I can find it. This was before I knew how to use ED Discovery, so it might be a lower quality screenshot. We'll see. Nowadays, I use ED Discovery for everything since it'll auto convert all of your pictures. Where are you, Mustache and Bowtie? You'll see why I called it that here in a second too. Because of how they look once you're on the your little viewing platform on those nearby planets. That's a very, very cool system. And I like things like that. Obviously, I really wanted to find a big ringed pulsar, but you know, the universe abounds. There's a lot of other things you can find out there. There we go. That is Mustache and Bowtie. That is my favorite discovery I've made in the game so far. Out of close to 10,000 first discoveries, this is my golden goose. This is my favorite. This is the big boy. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of see Mustache and Bowtie. Easy enough. Easy enough to understand, right? But yeah, that's my favorite system. But yeah, and I didn't really get like a whole lot of good shots, but like right on the other side of this is another ringed landable, and they're almost touching. Like their rings are almost touching. It's a very, very cool area. It's basically a natural viewing platform. And yeah, that's what I really liked about it. Like, it's scary enough warping in right between those top two stars. I mean, right between them. Supposedly they fixed that, but apparently not. I've still seen reports of people almost like getting heat damage and charging damage. But yeah, you warp in right between the top two. But yeah, it's almost a natural viewing platform. There's like a whole cluster of planets up here. Over to the, like, right behind the camera. That are really, really kind of cool. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. But, you know, I've occasionally, I've found a couple of planets that are like 700 kilometers away from the, from a ring and you know, things like that. A lot of colliding bodies, black holes that are, right next to pulsars and that kind of stuff. All right. We should get to work on this. We should get to work on this. We've already been streaming an hour and a half, and I barely even loaded the hold. I wanted to show you the system that I'm working on. It is a very cool colony. Bartertown, why did you go behind? That's the other thing. That's the other thing that I wish they would fix. When colonization first came out, if you If you targeted a station, like targeted a port or targeted something you're working on when you were doing your fleet carrier jump, it used to put you right next to it. And then lately it's gone back to normal. Lately, I've had a lot of jumps where it's putting me on the opposite side of a planet, or like nowhere near. It's not as annoying for stuff like this, for spaceports, but like if I'm trying to land at like a surface port and build that, like it's kind of important that the fleet carrier is kind of above it a little bit. Instead of being on the opposite side of the planet. It's already frustrating enough landing on surface ports as it is. So like having to go around the other side and then wait another 15 minutes for your carrier to hopefully get another better parking spot. I wish if I target a colonization site that is on a planet, it should move my FC above that spot. Instead of anything else. It's really annoying. It was working for a little bit and then it broke again, and yeah. Like they have adjusted it a little bit so that new constructions and FCs are actually, they're placed a little bit further out in orbit than they used to be. The vistas aren't necessarily as cool anymore when you know you go out on your FC and take a look. But it is a lot more convenient to actually move around. But yeah, it's still kind of hit or miss for a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I think this next trip that I make out, we'll have to see what this whole permit lock system is for. Because I had been meaning to go out for exobiology anyways. Between buying, you know, Panther Clipper, trying to support the squad carrier and get our squadron bank built up and all of that, I'm a little bit low on funds. So I was going to make another trip out, do a little bit of exobiology, get some stuff done that I usually kind of ignore when I'm out there. Because for me, you know, the exploration that I do is more about the sites and getting screenshots. It's not necessarily for the money. So I don't spend a lot of time doing exobiology or scanning every planet that's worth a decent amount and all of that. It's a numbers game, right? Trying to find cool systems, you got to visit a lot of systems. So I ended up skipping my mapping on, you know, terraformables and that kind of thing. I think this next trip out, I'm going to slow down a little bit and actually spend some time getting some money back. I really need it. I've only got $1 billion left. Only got 1.25 billion. Only got another 2 billion on the FC. That's too little. That's too little. I need more. Just in case. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but, you know, I buy a lot of ships for a lot of different things. And some of them are kind of memey. And some of them are kind of like actual things. Especially now that we can donate ships to the squad. Like, 1 billion sounds like a lot of money, but, like, if I wanted to buy, you know, a Panther Clipper and deck it out for some of my squad mates, I mean, that's a fair chunk of that. Like, out the window right there. You know, if I'm really engineering, or, well, I can't put engineered ships in the hold, but if I was gonna donate, like, a warship, like an Anaconda that's fully decked out, like, yeah, that's like 700 million right there. To build it up the way that I do it. Yeah. So yeah, more funds. Time to go scan some plants. But yeah, I gotta wait. I gotta wait and see what is gonna happen with this special event. I am curious. I'm very curious what's gonna happen. Who knows? I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks. It's a little weird that they started it so early. I mean, I know they kind of want to hype it up. But I don't know if I necessarily need like a month of downtime between like this story happening. You know, we got another email from the dude, from the professor dude this week. But like, I don't think we necessarily needed it. No, he's just been saying like, hey, I'm still around. No news to report. Like, okay. Another thing I got to delete. I'd rather like get to work. Get to work on whatever it is you're doing. But, you know, it's fine. I don't mind that they're actually giving us some content. I don't mind that we've got some kind of cool mysteries to solve. I just, you know, if they're going to hype it this much, I hope that it is a little bit more than just paint jobs and a holiday event for Halloween. I hope it is actually going to lead into the new feature, whatever it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the introduction of a couple new plants. Because I feel like with how the proc gen works, a couple new plants doesn't really affect the terrain of a planet all that much. And it should be easy enough to add on to existing planets. So we'll see. We'll see if that does anything. We're not going to get like landable. I know everyone's like landable Earthlikes. We're not going to get landable Earthlikes, guys. This is a No Man's Sky. It's not going to happen. But I could see them like introducing new plant types and that kind of thing. We'll just have to wait. Just hope they don't adjust too much in terms of like the monetary income. If they nerf my stratum, I don't know what I'll do. We need our stratum. It's the only thing we can rely on out there. Come on, there we go. What's my hold at? Still not quite enough to head back yet. I usually start heading back once I'm around 20. I don't necessarily fill up the entire hold, but I do try getting it fairly close. And it's just the numbers are kind of wonky. I'm very rarely just getting a very even 25,000, right? It's always it was like 24,728, right? So I always head back a little bit early. It's going to be a lot of trips anyway, so you know, no rush. But I might start the countdown here in a bit, just so that just so I can show you guys this cool system before the end of the stream. I am very excited about it. I am excited to get it built up and ready. I'll be able to finish it today, I think. Especially now that I got the little stuff. It's always the little things. That's what always takes me the most time. Come on. Come on, man. You got this. You got this. You can do it. There we go. Come on. I don't mind if I have to go through orbital cruise, but it's so annoying. It slows you down so much. But I mean, if they're talking about new features, I mean, to be honest, I've really liked most of the new features they've added in. I think Vanguards is really the only kind of miss. And it's not even that Vanguards isn't good. I think it was a very necessary update to a lot of the UI for squadrons. But yeah, I wouldn't really necessarily call it like a new feature. Right? It's just kind of a new skin on the old feature. But like the power play update they did has been really good. I've enjoyed it. It seems like the people that are into power play are still moving along, right? Colonization is obviously colonization, A+, highly recommended. There's still a few things that they could smooth out about it, and a few little complaints here and there that they can stand to adjust. But overall, just the fact that we're out here able to expand the galaxy is really cool. Really cool. All right, there we go. That on the docket. But yeah, Vanguard so far has been the only miss. I think, you know, we were kind of hoping that we'd have like squadron missions, like our squadron leaders would be able to give us certain missions and that kind of thing. And yeah, that none of that ever panned out. Like a lot of stuff that they mentioned the first time they ever mentioned Vanguards was kind of like, I don't know, kind of pie in the sky stuff. But I mean, in terms of the UI update and stuff, I mean, it's pretty good. I think it's a lot easier to just kind of take a look at your squad and get a very quick overview of what all is going on and where everyone stands and how things are going, where the activity's at. It's just there's not a whole lot new to it. No, we didn't get squadron made missions. 246, okay. All right. Let's go back. We'll hang on the launch pad a little bit. There's a couple other areas that I wanted to check out on the Gal map. Like the Makun chain is definitely the biggest, but there have been a couple of others that have been making some good progress. I know Cannons is up there. I think they were originally only going to like colonize that one nebula down to like the southwest, and then they're just like, you know what, let's just keep going. So they're going all the way out. I think they're gonna try reaching the galactic edge, which sounds like something Cannon would do. But you know, next year's gonna be pretty busy, so I'm kind of curious how things are gonna go with new features and all that. But you know, they're prepping for Distant Worlds 3, so that should be kind of fun. That should be interesting. I don't know if I'll take part, just because I've already got so much other stuff going on. You know, we do a lot more than Elite here on the channel, so yeah, finding the time to do it all, plus all the things that are probably going to be happening in the bubble and all this other stuff. But I am glad that they're doing another one. I've always heard tale of the old Distant World, so you know, I might hop over there at some point along their pathways, go and say hi, you know. Come on. Come on. Super Cruise. There we go. Wow, I went way past it. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it too much. Yeah, you know, at this point, I think the bigger question is like, what are they gonna do with the old content? And when are they gonna start running out of things to add, right? You know, we've been doing really good. We've been eating well with the new ships, but they're kind of running out of like niches to add, right? I would like to see another couple of larges. Another large combat ship would be really cool. But you know, now that we've got the Panther, we've got another big boy. So like, how many more ships can they really add before they're just kind of like running out of things to add, right? Till all of the possibilities are taken care of. And then also, what are they going to do with the old ships? I mean, there's a lot of older ships that no longer have a purpose. They are just completely obsolete at this point, right? Like, why would you use an old combat ship when the Python Mark II exists? And to be fair, like the largest, still, you can still use the largest. I still use my Annie as my main ship. But, you know, some of this other stuff, I don't really have much of an excuse to use my Diamondback Explorer anymore. I still like it. It's a lovely little guy. It was my first ship. It really got me started on going out into the black. It made me all of the money that I was able to use to put towards other bigger ships. But I have no reason to use it. You know, I've got the Mandalay, I've got the Scirocco. Like, there's not a whole lot of a point to like the old Diamondbacks. So what are they gonna do with them, right? Are they gonna add a new type of engineering maybe that will let us, you know, put the new SEO handling on older ships? Because that's really the big thing, is like they can use the SEO and stuff, but the handling on them is much, much worse. And they chew through fuel. So are they going to add engineering to like let us bring those up on par with the newer stuff? Who knows? Who knows what the year brings? I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't even know what I'm having for dinner tonight. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. We're just going to enjoy our time streaming when I can. A few times a week, right? How are we doing? Actually, I'm gonna get in my Mandalay and I'm gonna follow my ship over there. Why not? That's more interesting than just sitting on the pad. Where are you, Mandy? There it is. Mandy's put in the work. It's definitely my beloved. 07, how's it going? All right, we'll follow the ship over there. But I do want to show you my next door neighbor. I really wish that I understood the rhyme or reason to how some of this colonization decision makes sense. Like, there's a lot of like invalid systems around here, and there's really no way to tell why. This one I can kind of tell why, and you'll understand when we see it. But some of these other ones around here, like, they're invalid systems, but you take a look at them, and they're just kind of like normal systems. I don't know why they're not. Like, supposedly they might be used for something in the future, but like, they're not permit locked. Like, it'd be one thing if they were permit locked systems, but they're not permit locked. You can still visit them. They're just invalid for colonization for apparently no reason. Yeah, this one's really cool. I hope they make this one valid at some point. I can get in here and jump into it. It's so close to one of my others that they're practically touching. Like, they just let me absorb it already. Let me absorb it in the name of frog. Please. It's already there. It's already mine. I gotta turn on my borders. There we go. These guys are kind of scary too. If you don't turn on your lines, that exclusion zone around these dwarves is you got to be kind of careful. Got to be a little cautious. Actually, come to think of it, I should probably be scanning some of these for the CG going on, shouldn't I? It's fine. It's not like I need the scanner. I'm still in the top 75%, I think. I got it just scanning potential next colony, so it really wasn't too bad. And I've got it unlocked at the tech broker. I just need to farm some more materials. Yeah, I've already got like 5 of these scanners, so it's not a huge deal. And at the same time, I do enough exploration that I'll find a reason to use it. Like, I've got an exploration Corvette and an exploration cutter, so might as well add an exploration Panther to it. All right. But yeah, like if you do want to do the CG though, I do recommend it. If you are even thinking about doing exploration, it is very much worth it. The scanner that they're giving out, I mean, it cuts your probes by like half. So like if a planet takes, 4 probes, you only need 2, and you'll hit the efficiency target, right? It is a very, very big difference. But it is the V1, which is also available from tech brokers. So if you have the materials, you can just go to a tech broker and get it too. It's pretty easy. It's one of the easier ones to get. But yeah, that probe scanner it's really nice if you're even remotely thinking about doing exploration. It cuts down mapping time by so much. Like, I can throw my probes out and then start my hyper jump to the next system, and it'll be done with the efficiency target by the time I jump. It really does make that much of a difference. And again, if I'm doing a lot of exploration, it's all a numbers game. So, being able to cut that amount of time out, it's a big difference. It's pretty nice. And you should join me out in exploring anyways, because it's fun and you get to see the sights. Alright, well, this thing's a big boy. What's going on here? There it is. Here's my lines. Real nice and close. Get nice and comfy. There you go. Love you, Mandy. I love that you can jump while I'm scooping. It's so good. It's so good. Again, why would you use older ships when this exists? So yeah, they need to do something with the older ships. Like, it's not even just from a practical standpoint. I do like the ships, the new ones, but like, I really like the design on some of the older ships too. Like, I don't want to get rid of them. I don't want to sell them or anything, because I do really like how some of them look. There's just not much of a reason to use them. All right, here we go. So yeah, this is an interesting system. The way I can put it, I can kind of understand why this one's not available for colonization, but some of the others I really don't. Some of the others I don't understand the rhyme or reason to it. Yeah, I was looking at this one because I was using this one as like my guide on where I needed to be moving with each colony. Like, okay, my target system is like right next to this one, because this one has the big X on it. And I finally decided, you know what, I'm gonna hop in here and see what's going on. I'm gonna hop in here and see why this one is not available. Why it cannot colonize this weird giant O star, right? Yep. There it is. All right. So, this is up near Coalsack. Use my systems as a nice little rest stop if you want. But have you ever seen a system with 12 stars? Hey. They just keep going. They just keep going. But yeah, I mean, aside from just the sheer amount of stars, though, there's really nothing, like, crazy about this system. I don't think it's got a tourist beacon or anything in it. Let me take a look. Maybe it does have a tourist beacon. Like, you can't colonize any system that has a tourist beacon in it. But again, I don't think it does. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why this one's not available. Other than big. Other than just being big. But all of the planets and everything in it are kind of bog standard. There's nothing super unique about a lot of them. It's not a hydrogen, no. I don't even think any of them really. Okay, we got a couple that have like geologicals and stuff. Here's kind of normal. They got a lot of stuff going on them. But yeah, they're not like a Black Ops site or something like that. Some of the other systems out there, you know, they've got lore reasons, but I don't know about this one. Maybe it's just because this is maybe a potential, like an actual system that we actually know about. That tends to be the case in a lot of these. They don't want us taking like well-known and established, hey, this exists in real life systems that we've actually mapped and stuff. But who knows? But yeah, it is my neighbor. It's my neighbor, and if they ever make it valid, I am like palm slamming my fist on this thing. All right. How we doing? What's my timer looking like? My timer looking like this is the system that we're working on right now. This one's got the Coriolis as the starter. I was debating whether or not to do a T3, but you know, I solo built that T3 that one time, and that's enough. I'm cool not doing that again in a month. I will build some more T3s, but I don't want the time limit on them. I don't mind solo building one, but you got to give me more than a month. That was just that was too much. It was just too much. All right, here we go. You know, I should have logistically filled up my hold a little bit more than I did, but that's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. If I have to make an extra jump, that's cool. I'll learn to live with it. It's not like building an entire Coriolis in like 2 days. It's really... Oh no! Oh no! I spent so long on this thing. If you're wondering how I've been holding up the past couple weeks, I know it's been kind of light on our streams lately. You know, I've had a lot of stuff going on the second monitor. I've been working on those applications and all of that. If you want to know what I've been doing, just vegging out and trying to not be stressed all the time. Where am I? There we go. That's how I've been doing. That's how I've been doing. That's been me. That's where my head's at right now. Oh, don't you love it? It's a lot. I've built so many things. But like I said, I'll be slowing down now that I've got some systems in the name of Frog out here. Now that I don't have to worry about a whole lot of other people coming around and messing with my BGS or sniping systems that I wanted and all of that. Now that that's done with, I can take it easy and we can do some more normal streams and just hang out. I think this week I've got a very weird schedule the next couple of weeks, so I'm gonna try fitting in quite a few streams. I actually have all weekend off. I am not working again until next Thursday or Friday. So, you know, that really sucks for my paycheck. Good for you guys. We're going to fit in a lot of streams. We're going to fit in some more FF10. We're going to be doing probably some more EverQuest because I don't know why I've been playing EverQuest lately, but I've been having a good time with it. Just, I don't know, just do some streams that are just kind of like no risk, no thoughts, head empty kind of streams. We can just kind of veg out. We'll probably hop into FF10 and finish that out at some point. And that'll be like our one focus stream. Right? We really need to kind of sit down and pay attention to the story and read my game facts guide and all of that. And everything else will just be kind of like, just kind of seeing what's out there. Really just kind of no responsibility streaming for a little bit. I think we need it for the channel for a little bit, and also I kind of need it personally to just kind of goof off on stream. We haven't done that a whole lot in a bit, and I think those streams are just more fun. It's more fun to hop into EverQuest when you have no expectations about what you're going to be doing, right? It's more fun that way. All right. Yeah, in case you didn't notice while I was yapping, that's why this is the system that I'm working on. This is why this is going to be my big tourist and population center system. I'm excited to build it. I saw this on the old list of potential targets near my conversion point. I was like, you know what, we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. It's kind of quiet out here. I don't have a lot of neighbors. The neighbors that I do have seem pretty chill. Yes, we have colonized my first Earth-like world. There it is. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it pretty? My first Earth-like world colony. I've got a couple water world colonies. I've got a couple of, kind of unique and interesting systems with big rings and stuff. But this is my first ever Earth-like world colony. So we're going to build this up. I'm thinking it's going to be a tourism site, but it's going to be a system. I'm just going to have some fun, just kind of playing around and not really like focusing so much on getting an economy up that will help other systems. It's going to be an economy that's just fun. I want people to have fun when they come and visit. So yeah. And I do hope that, it gets some useful stuff in here. I'd like it to sell some things that you can use for other colonies. Oh, get out of here, pirate. Get out of here, wild effects dude. There we go. That should do it. That should keep him off my butt. Yeah. I was very happy to see this up. Then, you know, after this, I don't know. There's a couple of other targets after this, but I don't know if I really need to rush any of them. I would like to claim them, but I don't know if it'll be a big deal if I don't. But it's kind of quiet out here, so it's kind of nice. I think this will be a good couple of systems between this one and the one that I showed off at the beginning of the stream. I think it'll be a nice little hub to kind of start off a new era for the Diamond Frogs. We'll see. We'll see. But, where are we at anyways? Only one online, okay. Well, that's fine. We were in the top 15. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, wait, no. Total members descending. Where are we? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15. Okay, so we're a little bit further down than I thought, but we should be top 25. Yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing okay. We've been around a bit. We've been around a while. It's okay. It's chill. We'll do what we can for our space. That being said, I think that'll be about it for today. I think that'll be about it, because all of the places I can go get breakfast are finally starting to open, and I'm getting kind of hungry. So I think that's we're gonna go ahead and call it for tonight. But you know what? It's a new week. It's a long couple of weeks. We're gonna fit in quite a bit. So, you know, as always, like, subscribe. It's free. It helps the channel. And yeah, we'll probably hop back in here at some point during this stretch of streams and see what else I'm working on. The next time we hop in here, this Coriolis should be built. But then yeah, outside of that, you know, we're gonna do quite a bit. I've got another bid in for my FF14 FC house. We'll see how that goes. If I end up getting one, we might hop in and do a little bit with that. We might hop into FF14 at some point just anyways, because I've still got a long way to go. I have not really touched my roulettes since we did it last week. So yeah, I've got a little bit of ways to go on the relic weapon, and yeah, it's more fun to do those things when I'm yapping with y'all. So yeah. But yeah, we got a busy couple of weeks, so just kind of keep an eye out. Again, like, subscribe, hit me up on the blue skies, and you'll see the notices when I'm going live. But you know, happy trails out there in space. We'll keep an eye out and see what's going to happen with this event and this missing student and this permit lock system. I am very curious. But aside from that, it's all hauling all day. Nothing but steel and aluminum all the way down for the next couple of days here. But yeah, that being said, I hope you have a good Tuesday. You're in the middle of your Tuesday. I hope it went okay, and the rest of your workday goes without issue. I'm gonna go get something to eat, y'all. And take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye bye.